Okay, so now we've kind of, taken a lot of time to define what the null and the alternate is. Let's look at, you're presented with a problem. How do you identify the null and the alternate hypothesis? So I've kind of broken this down into three steps. So step one is to translate the original literal claim into a mathematical equation and label this as the original claim. Step two is to create a second mathematical equation that is a complement to the first one. Step three is to identify the null and the alternate. Identify which hypothesis was the original claim and use the alternate to determine whether you're going to be dealing with a left-tailed, two-tailed, or right-tailed distribution. So let's look at this first example going through all three of the steps. So we want to test whether the mean grade point average of students in American colleges is different from 2. So step one is to translate the original literal claim into a mathematical equation and label it as the original claim. So the part we're going to pick out of this is the mean grade point average is different from 2. Okay, so the mean grade point average is different from 2. So the mean GPA is we're talking about the population mean of grade point average. Okay, so that's what I've put in here. Now, is different, we could translate as being not equal to. And then we've got 2.0. So that's where we end up with the population mean grade point average is not equal to 2. And that's going to be our original claim. So that's step one. Step two, is to create a second mathematical equation that is a complement for the first one. All right, so if the first equation is that mu GPA is not equal to 2, what's the complement to that? Mu GPA is equal to 2. All right, step three, identify the null and the alternate hypotheses and identify which hypothesis was the original claim. Okay, so remember that the null hypothesis always has inequality in it. So this second statement that we came up with here, that ended up being our null hypothesis. The alternate hypothesis is this one, okay, which has a not equal to in it. And the alternate hypothesis ended up being our original claim. So this is how you would want to begin a hypothesis test and do it correctly. If you make any mistake at this early point, if any of these things are missing, your conclusion is going to be off at the end. So setting this up correctly from the beginning is really important. And one more thing to throw in here to notice is remember that the alternate hypothesis defines the tail of the distribution we're going to be using. And so because this is not equal, this is indicating that we've got a two-tailed distribution. So we're going to be dealing with a distribution that's going to have two critical values like that. And then we're going to have significance level divided by 2 on both tails, something like that. Okay. So let me know if you have any questions.